Let me ask you a question. What are the things that you look for when buying a new car? Design, performance, features, price points, driving dynamics, or frugality? And if it's a combination of all of those things, then what are the things that you prioritize more than the others? I want to talk about a car today that rates highly on at least 5 of those 6 aspects, and yet nobody bought it. I want to talk about the tragedy of Citroën Aircross. There was a time last year when the Aircross Plus variant in the 5+2 combination was available for around 10 lakhs ex-showroom. An excellent 1.2 litre 3-cylinder turbo engine producing 110 horses and 190 Newton meters of torque that would go neck and neck with the 1 litre TSI from the VW. Unbelievable carpet-like ride quality, very much derived from its elder sibling the C5. Decent NVH, quite a looker, and extremely fun to drive dynamics. Plus, throw in the practicality of becoming a 7-seater when you wanted to. It was a steal, especially at that price point where you get base models of Cretas, Seltos and the likes with naturally aspirated engines, or you might get mid or higher variants of the sub 4 meter pseudo SUVs like the Brezza, the Venue and the Sonnet. And still it sold an average of less than 100 units a month. I had arranged a test drive because I loved the product and what it offered. The experience was pleasant, the car came at my location, got a good hour or so with the car for the touch and feel and also for the longest test drive, and I came out quite impressed. This was the 80 when it was newly launched. It ticked all the boxes for me. Peppy engine, great looks, and the ride quality blew me away. Plus, having kids, it's always a good option to have those extra seats. Comfortable?
Comfortable, perfect.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Space है?
हाँ, पैर रखने के इसमें तो चार्जिंग भी कर सकते हैं। मगर हाँ, एक चीज है, अगला ना अगर यहाँ पे पीछे बैठेगा ना तो को टांग रखने की जगह नहीं है।
I was not actively looking to buy a new car per se. My 2010 Passat is still going strong with only 85,000 kilometers on it. But I was smitten by the Aircross. And then I read reviews, watched videos on the Aircross, and one thing that popped out like a sore thumb was that people turned away from it because of the lack of features. One of the things that stood out was that it has flap handles. The rear window controls are mid-set, a little inconvenient for the rear passengers. No climate control, no sunroof even on the top model. And that brought me to the realization that cars, that's something that's supposed to take you from A to B safely, with comfort, and adding a bit of happiness while doing so, is not the same anymore. It's all about features. It is so much about the features and the gadgetry it provides. You know, the touch controls, the large screens slapped across the dash, auto everything, wipers, lights, AC, ADAS in India. When did cars become about these things and not about how it drives, the suspensions, ride quality, engine? When did cars become similar to that of a smartphone? You know, to put the outrageous nature of the situation of Aircross, let me throw in some numbers here. These are the average sales in the last 6 months, August 24 to Jan 25, of all of these cars. These are monthly averages. No surprises, Creta leads the way, selling 16,000 units a month on an average in the last 6 months, and that's basically been the numbers for the Creta for a lot of years now. But the Aircross, 97. That's about it. 97 cars sold across the country as a monthly average in the last 6 months, and wasn't much different even before that. And here's the figures of the cars in the segment below the Aircross. You know, you have the Venues, the Sonnet, the 3XOs, Magnites and Kaigers. And even more of a shocker is this. Here's 5 cars well above the Aircross segment, costing at least 3 to 4 times more, but still selling more than the Aircross. Hilux, yeah, go trucking culture in India. Gloucester, Carnival, Camry, what year is this? Heck, even Stellantis' own Jeep Meridian sells more units than the Aircross. And by the way, this video is brought to you by Chrome. That's what I used to do the research. And it's not that the Aircross comes all bare bones in terms of features. You have everything you need and nothing you can't live without. Pleasing and spacious cabin, good music system, you have your Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, comfortable seats, 17-inch wheels, rear AC blowers, rear wipers and washers, everything you need. It sounds really unbelievable when you don't want to spend an extra second turning on the wipers or need automated everything, when the trade-off is actually a beautiful engine and driving dynamics and a very solid car mechanically. So what went so wrong here for Citroën that it sells the least number of cars in the hottest segment in the Indian market and a horrendous 0.1% market share? Is Creta really a whopping 160 times better than Aircross? Absolutely not. In fact, in more ways than one, it's a better product than the Creta. So what is it then? It can't be the safety aspect because the Aircross gets 6 airbags, all your usual safety bits. The crash test? I know it scored a 0 in the test last year, which was prior to the 6 airbags edition, and we know that Basalt recently scored a healthy 4 stars in the Bharat NCAP. The Korean siblings, on the other hand, have been very cagey over the years with their crash test. They scored 3 stars in Global and 5 stars in Asian recently, but you have to understand these are not the same cars plying on Indian roads, and Creta is yet to get a Bharat NCAP rating. So is it the brand, service network? I can understand those points having an effect on a relatively new entrant, but to this extent, it just sounds obnoxious. Or did reviewers just kill the product when it arrived, repeatedly stressing over the lack of features and the flap handles? We'll never know. This has all the makings of something that happened with the Hexa. Great product, everybody loved it, nobody bought it. Tata discontinued it, it did not sell, and today we feel nostalgic about it and want Tata to bring it back. I think this is where it's going. If I'm in the market with 10 to 12 lakhs budget and looking for a potential 7-seater, I'll put my money where my mouth is. I'll pick Aircross or a used Hexa. Which camp are you in? Are you the one that prioritizes engine, performance, driving dynamics? Driving क्यों बोल रहा हूँ? So I'm going to leave with this thought here. Which camp are you in? The one that looks for engine performance and driving dynamics? Or the one that looks for features and gizmos? Or are you the third kind? The one that says one thing and does the other? Let's meet in the comments.